Hey everyone, welcome back to Step by Step Crypto. Today I want to go over why I believe that Tezos is the sleeping giant of the crypto world. Recently, Tezos has absolutely exploded in price after being in a very long accumulation range of about 130 days. And this giant spark seemed to almost come out of nowhere, yet it's created a new renowned interest in what exactly Tezos does. Because despite being a top 20 market cap coin, it's still relatively under the radar, and most people aren't familiar with what Tezos does. So I'd like to use this video to make a case for why I think Tezos will be one of the leaders in the upcoming security token revolution and actually surprise a lot of people with incredible price movements. Now, as most of you guys have already known, I try to be objective and I will try to keep my moon boy instincts to a minimum, but I definitely believe that Tezos is worth the hype for the following four reasons. So I can just pull that up. Why I think Tezos is going to be huge. Firstly, it's solving real blockchain issues that most other larger chains haven't quite figured out, like on-chain governance and formal verification. Number two, the upcoming security token revolution that is coming. Think of the ICO era on steroids. Three is cash. The Tezos Foundation had one of the largest ICOs in 2017, and they're sitting pretty on a lot of money that they can fund into development. And last but not least, you want to look at the investors within Tezos. There's actually a lot of smart money backing Tezos. So there's a much greater chance that this project will end up doing very well. So, on to the first point. So, I'm pulling up a really good article by Linda G. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name correctly, where she briefly talks about what formal verification is. And I think she had a very succinct definition that formal verification is essentially allows developers to mathematically prove the correctness of their smart contract code. So smart contracts are notoriously buggy, and if you have to deploy some very sensitive piece of software, you want to make sure that it's running effectively so that there aren't any hiccups. Imagine trying to deploy a $1 billion security token or a large tokenized real estate project. You have to make sure it works. There's very little margin for error, and Tezos allows you to check your code in a way that other platforms haven't quite developed yet. The second key feature of Tezos is self-governance. Now, making software updates in a centralized system is easy. Like all you have to do is as an individual or an entity, you just decide to make a change. But how do you do so on a decentralized blockchain? How do you collectively agree on what kinds of changes you want to make to the software? Well, Tezos is actually the first blockchain in history to implement on-chain voting to decide on an upgrade on its software. Whereas before you would have to make a hard fork on the protocol to actually make any changes. An example of a hard fork is, Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. So the first change was made around May 2019 when voters on Tezos decided to change the number of coins you needed to stake from 10,000 to 8,000, making staking more accessible for other people and making the entire system more democratized and decentralized. And this is just one of many proposals that are inside the pipeline. Another game changer for Tezos is STOs. So essentially an STO stands for a security token offering, and it essentially represents ownership of an asset, for example, a stock, but it's represented as a digital token that exists on the blockchain. And the biggest benefit of STOs is liquidity, because right now there are trillions of dollars of assets in the form of real estate, private equity, arts, etc., that could have better access to capital markets through the help of STOs. And once that liquidity is open, it's going to make the ICO revolution look like peanuts. And this isn't just a speculation in terms of what's going to happen. There are already massive companies looking to build STOs on Tezos. Some of the more recent examples are Brazil's largest bank is planning on using Tezos to do an SEO worth over $1 billion. Even more recently, T0. If you're familiar with T0, that's owned by the guy who started Overstock, and they're moving heavily into security tokens. And they're partnering with Tezos to tokenize over 500 million in UK real estate. This is just the beginning. Like, imagine in a couple of years from now when more and more companies are seeing the value of tokenizing their assets. And if Tezos is the protocol through which they do it, then you can expect the value of the token to appreciate substantially. The third point I want to bring up is cash money. And Tezos raised over $232 million in their ICO in July 2017, making it the second largest ICO after EOS. And luckily for Tezos, a lot of that was in Bitcoin, so they're actually sitting on more than 232 million as of right now. Now, why is this cash important? Well, while many projects struggle during the bear market with limited funds, struggling to pay for engineers, struggling to fund certain developments that they want to work on, they couldn't spend as much on marketing. Tezos was sitting very comfortably on a pile of cash they could use to build out their entire platform. And they're currently using that money to, encourage more people to learn their language, which is called Mikkelsen, encourage more apps to build on their platform, providing funding and seed money for projects that want to build on Tezos to help grow that ecosystem. And finally, you want to look at the type of people that are actually backing Tezos. Because if you're not sure who to invest in, just follow the smart money. And the smart money is backing Tezos. Over here, I pulled up Winklevoss Capital. For those of you who have not heard of the Winklevoss, they're part of that movie, The Social Network, with Mark Zuckerberg. They're very early adopters in Bitcoin and have one of the largest venture capital funds for the crypto space. And one of the projects that they've invested in is, scroll, Tezos. Tezos is also backed by Tim Draper, who famously purchased Bitcoin from the Silk Road auction. He is one of the most famous and most successful crypto entrepreneurs that are out there. And you also got to look at Coinbase Ventures. Coinbase is one of the most popular exchanges, and it's usually the most popular exchange for beginners because of their simple fiat pathways. And they're doubling down big time on Tezos and offering incentives and rewards for people to actually stake using Coinbase itself. So when you have smart money like the Winklevoss, Tim Draper, and Coinbase backing up your coin, you can be relatively confident that this will perform better than most other projects within the crypto space. And that concludes my video on why I think Tezos is a sleeping giant of crypto. And once again, it's for the following 4 reasons. 1, it's solving actual blockchain issues. It's solving actual blockchain issues in the form of formal verification and on-chain self-governance. Its ability to effectively run security token offerings, the steep piles of cash they're sitting on, and all the smart money that is backing up Tezos. And I don't think currently, as of right now, this is written in Satoshis, but the dollar value of Tezos as we speak is around $1.20. I don't think $50 to $100 Tezos is out of the question by the end of 2021 when this bull market is really raging. Once again, not financial advice. This is just my speculative opinion. But do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in your comments below. And if you like this content, please subscribe for future videos. Since this is a new channel, I appreciate any feedback you guys can give me. So let me know what you guys want me to discuss in the comments below. And until next time, peace out.